Hello everybody, it's Southside Boy Styles coming at you again with another video. Today we're going to be playing Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I've been playing this game for a little bit now and starting to get used to it a little bit. I'm maybe 20% good at it, which is basically nothing. But I have the ability to fly. Now, in all reality, I can fly the Boeing a lot better with autopilot from plotting my courses in sim briefing. But with the little Cessna aircrafts, I'm telling you right now, I have a little bit of issue, but I can fly it. So today, I'm going to take it on a little flight in a little province in Canada. A little province called Newfoundland. Now, Newfoundland is where I am from. So I'm going to take off. I'm going to fly over a couple little towns, and I'm going to tell you which town is mine. I'm not going to show you where I live. And yeah, and you'll get to see some scenery. Unfortunately, everything's snow covered, so you know the terrain is not going to look as amazing as what it usually looks like. And being that this is MFS, they don't, on the landscape and in the landscape aspect of the game, they do really well. But when it comes to the actual buildings and houses and stuff like that, it's completely different. Everything is in its right location of where it is supposed to be, but the buildings are not accurate. That's the only thing I notice about MFS 2020. So let's begin. We're going to I don't usually be inside the cockpit of the Cessna, because if I go inside the cockpit, you guys are not going to get a good view of anything. So I'm going to stay outside. I don't know why these messages keep coming up there. I don't know how to shut them off. Bear with me, please. So yeah, let's power up. And let's take off the parking brake. And let's crash and burn. Hopefully not. Okay, so we're going to get left off very shortly. The plane always does that when I take off. It always veers a little bit left even though it's flying straight. Don't know why it does that. Okay, altimeter setting. Gotta be fixed. There you go. Let's change our flaps. Okay, I'm just adjusting my engine speed here now, guys. Bear with me a little bit. Okay, let me get my bearings here. Okay, I have to figure out. Okay, I gotta go this way. Okay, so we're going to fly here a bit now. I have no idea why the plane wants to be what I call lopsided. I don't know why that is, but I guess it's what it is. I'm just trying to get my bearings straight. I'm actually headed for the Trans-Canada Highway, and I gotta give her a little bit more power. Okay, so Gandalf's okay. Alright. Sorry guys, I'm just getting my bearings straight here. I gotta go over by Gander Lake. The name of this town is called Gander. I think the population is like 15,000 people. 16,000 people. Okay, here's the Trans-Canada Highway. For some reason, they have the highway depicted as snow-covered. It's not. It's actually, everything in the sky seems a bit, this is supposed to be live weather. That seems to be doing pretty good, except for if you can see the traffic on the highway, the road is not snow covered like they're depicting it. And I went into settings, I tried everything, but this is the way they want to do it, so what am I? So this is the Trans-Canada Highway, and for some reason they have it snow covered. We have plows here in Newfoundland. By the way, the population of Newfoundland is approximately 500,000 people. Okay, so we're just going to keep following the Trans-Canada Highway, the TCH, to my little town, which is approximately, if I was driving in a car, it's approximately 45 minutes away from Gander, where we just took off from. And if we want groceries or Walmart or anything like that, or clothes or whatever, we have to drive almost an hour to get to it. The population of my town is like 860 people, I think, or something like that. So it's not a lot of people. It's less than 1,000 people live in my town. And there's actually 3 towns we're going to be flying over. The first town will be Gamble, Newfoundland. That's where my mother's from. And then the second town will be Hare Bay. That's where my father is from, which is 24 kilometers from Gamble. And the third town will be Dover, I think. Okay, so Hare Bay population is like 640 people. Then Gamble, I think it's like 11,000 or something like that. No, sorry, 1,100, not 11,000, sorry. Population of Gamble is like 1,100 people. And then the population of Dover, I'm not sure if it's 400 and something people. Less than 450, I think. And I might have those numbers all messed up, but I think I'm pretty accurate. It's like 800 or 900 people Hare Bay, 400 or 500 people Dover, 1,100 people Gamble. I think it's like 11 to 15,000 in Gander. Am I saying that right? 1,000? No, it's not 1,000. I don't know the population of Gander. I don't know. It's not 1,000, can't be. But yeah, we're still over Trans-Canada Highway. We used to have a railway system that used to go right through Newfoundland. If you look just to the left of the highway, you'll see that little opening to the left of my wing. That's actually the old railroad tracks, which we don't use railway anymore. They took it all out of it years back. And now it's just used as a snowmobile or a four-wheeler trail that you can pay seasonally and ride all around Newfoundland if you want. Other than that, everything's on the highway, right? And we're still following to the right of me is the Gander River. First off, I want to say, like, the terrain to me is 98% accurate. I know these areas really well. Oops, plane done a little jigo, sorry. The terrain is really, really accurate, and everything about it is positioning, the trees, the hills, the lakes, the bays, everything is pretty well accurate. For some reason they got snow on the highway. This is a clear day. We haven't had snow in days. The road is clear. The only thing I notice is the buildings. The buildings are completely different. They're in the right places, but they're completely different. Little bit of accuracy, maybe 10%, 15%, but we're wrong. Just wrong. I'm going to gain a little bit of altitude here. Yeah, just a little bit of altitude. Okay. 12,000, yeah. My engines are good. Everything is good. So yeah, we're just gonna fly. I'm really enjoying this simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I'm really enjoying it. It's nice. Oops, sorry about the little jiggle. So yeah, if I was in a car right now leaving Gander, I would be driving on that highway just below me. Microsoft Flight Simulator, why do you have it snow covered? It's not snow covered. slow down my engines a little bit. I don't want to stress the plane. So, as you can see, Newfoundland is a beautiful place. A lot of country. There's a lot of country here. A lot of hunting happens here. There's a lot of moose here. I'm sure almost every day of the week there's a moose accident somewhere on these highways beneath us. My girlfriend actually hit a moose, and gladly nobody was hurt. And her and her daughter were going to get their nails done, and 24 kilometers away, and on their way back in the daytime, a moose jumped right in front of their car and completely destroyed the vehicle, which nobody cares about the vehicle. They weren't hurt. They weren't hurt at all, thankfully, but the car was a complete write-off. Finished. Thank God for insurance. But yeah, it's a big problem we got here in Newfoundland is moose. My girlfriend's not doing so good lately, so if everybody can keep her in their thoughts and say a little prayer for her. She's going through a really rough time, battling cancer. And yeah, and she's been battling this now for 3 years. And in a situation like that, when someone you love is battling something hard, you feel kind of helpless, and there's nothing much you can do to try to, you know, all you can do is try to comfort them the best you can. And she's going through a rough time, so just keep her in your thoughts, everybody. Okay. Okay, so I'm just concentrating on trying to keep my bearings straight here. I'm not using no GPS, I'm not using nothing, I'm just flying the plane here, right? Trying to keep intact where I am, which I know. I can tell, I know this area so well, I can tell by the bodies of water, which is frozen, where I am. Yep, we're still following the Trans-Canada Highway. And I gotta say, the weather is really the weather is really accurate, because the blue skies down there, that's actually off in the distance. If you look, let me angle my plane, because I look at my window in my house, and if you look straight way down there in the horizon, that's where I am, and the sun is shining here. But I don't want you to miss this town, so I'm gonna come back over this way. The town that we're almost at is called Gamble. As I said before, I think it's like 1,100 people here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, there's no need to be flying all the way to Trans-Canada, because then I just got to backtrack to get into the town. Because the Trans-Canada is to the right of my wing, Gamble is right there to the left of my wing. So you actually got to backtrack yourself when you come into that town. You just turn off the Trans-Canada and back on track. Okay, let me veer this way a little bit, slightly. I've learned that this plane doesn't like hard banking, so I'm taking it easy with the turns because I don't want to crash. I want to show you guys all of this. But yeah, this plane doesn't like hard banks. She stresses out and it ends the simulation. Okay, so if you look below me, there's houses. You see the cars on the, I don't know why, snowy covered roads. But this little town is called Gamble. And it's a nice little town. It's where my mother's from. I lived there for a while too. Sorry guys, I'm trying to... But yep, this is Gamble. Now, as I said, it seems to me that all the buildings are in their proper locations, but they're not accurate as to the way they look. Oh, I got to slow my engines down a little bit more. But like the positioning of everything, this bay to the right of me, the trees to the left of me, the horizon, like I don't know how to explain it, but everything there is 100% accurate. I'll tell you right now, it's accurate. Just the buildings are not, they don't look like they're supposed to, but they're in the right places. So yeah, this is Gamble. You see the houses just below me. I always find when you're flying over anything, even in real life, nothing you look at it, you're like, how does people live there? But if you're there, it's different, you know? When you're flying over something, it doesn't look the same. Yeah. There's a school up to the left of me there, I think so, yeah. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so this is like a big horseshoe. There's a little bridge over here. This is the other side of Gamble. And this is actually where my mother's from. My sister still lives here, in this area right here. They have one gas station, one grocery store. I don't think there's any little convenience store, I'm not sure. I just want to say about this, where I am now, which is at the end of Gamble, going towards Hare Bay, my hometown, which is 24 kilometers in that direction. This bay, when I was a kid in the wintertime, I'm going to fly over the bay area. I'm getting off the roadside. This bay, I used to travel from Hare Bay to Gamble on my snowmobile across this bay when it was frozen. I did it many, many times. And I'm telling you, it's fun, man. I don't think it freezes like that anymore. It still freezes. Back in the day, a lot of people in Newfoundland still burn wood. They have wood fires, and I'm not sure if it happens now, but back in the day, this used to be trucks hauling wood, like, so they go out in those forest areas out this way out here, they'd be cutting wood, and they'd be hauling it with their snowmobiles, with their slides, bringing it to the open bay. They'd load up their trucks and they'd drive these bays all day long, just bringing firewood home. Yeah, and that's how they get their firewood. Well, I mean, there's other ways. You get your wood cutting permit and you can go cutting wood. Some people who don't want to be on the bays, they would just park outside the road and cut their own trail and get their firewood. I have electric heat, so I don't cut firewood. But yep, I've traveled this bay many a times on my snowmobile from Hare Bay to Gamble. That's the thing about living in Newfoundland. I think it's quite amazing, actually. In this area over here, the road is just down to the left of us, but I'm just staying in this area. In this area over here, my uncle has a cabin that he goes to a lot. Wintertime, he'll do it by snowmobile. Summertime, he'll do it by boat on this bay to the right of me. In right here, I think, yeah, in right here somewhere in this area is his cabin. I'm not going to give you no approximate positionings of the cabin, but I can tell you to the left of me in that area, there's a cabin. It's my uncle's. Really nice. It's really nice. He has a cabin. He has a couple of sheds. It's quite amazing. What a life that is, eh? Well, that's the Newfoundland life, right? So we're coming into, now like I said, the road is to the left of me. As I'm veering the plane, the road is to the left of me. But I always like flying over this bay because I kind of grew up in this area, so I spent a lot of time out this way, so I like flying this way. We're coming into my hometown of Hare Bay now. Hare Bay is shaped like a horseshoe, and in the center of that horseshoe, almost in the center of that horseshoe, is a big island. It's called Hare Bay Island, and it's such a scenic island because when you enter Hare Bay, you go down over a big hill, and that's when you're entering Hare Bay. So when the first thing you see when you come into my hometown is this little island, I'm going to show you, not the one that's in front of me. I'll show you, it's just up here. So right here now, this is the entrance into Hare Bay Park. This is a park where people put their campers, they camp in the summertime. You know, kids go out on their snowmobiles or four-wheelers, mess around. Yeah, this is. Actually, I have a story for you right now. You see this opening in right here? That's not water. This is land. My four-wheeler broke down here the other day. I had to get it towed home, way out to the right of me. So you can see houses. This is my hometown right here, Hare Bay, and I live somewhere in. I'm going to show you. Not 100%. I'm not going to show you, but. Get there. I live in this area right here. Somewhere. Not for you to know. But yeah, so look. Hare Bay is a horseshoe. To the left of me is houses, and to the right of me is houses. Like, I'll show you with the plane. See? Houses. So it's like a horseshoe town, and right in front of me is Hare Bay Island. So what a beautiful place, right? We live in a place where we look at our window, we see that open bay and this beautiful island out right here. And it's just, you can't get no more scenic than that, ladies and gentlemen. So that, I mean, that's pretty cool. I think from what I can remember, I was only young. My grandfather had a cabin out here somewhere, way out to the horizon there somewhere. My grandfather had a cabin. He's passed away. He's been passed away when I was 16. It's been many, many years ago. But I think he had a cabin out this way. I can tell you right now, as I look at my window and as I'm looking at the simulator, the live weather is pure accurate. It's perfectly accurate as I'm sitting looking at my window on this day, March 10th, 2021. Okay, so I'm going to show you another little town. Just bear with me. Okay, so I'm going to take you over another little town. I want to show you. Okay, right here, as I said, everybody, and if anybody from Newfoundland or from Dover here are looking at this, no, the buildings are not accurate, they're just in the right locations. This is the fish plant. A lot of people that live here are employed and survive because of that fish plant, but I'm not sure. Okay. I want to check something out here, everybody. So that's the school up there. Yeah, so back there was the fish plant. This is the school where my son is right now. My son is in that school as we speak. The building is not 100% accurate, but it's not bad. Okay, I'm going to make a little turn and go back down around. This is where my girlfriend is from, Dover, Newfoundland. Oh no, don't you do anything to me, plane. Don't you crash. Yeah, so this is where my girlfriend's from. She's from Dover. This is a beautiful town too. My friend, he's Greek, and he drove to Newfoundland with me a few years back, and he made me drive through this town, I swear to you, a dozen times in one day. He loved it so much. And you know, it is beautiful. It is nice places. It really is. I had a lot of fun growing up in these two towns, Harebay and Dover, which are basically two towns are right together. They're basically joined, but they're two municipalities. They have two separate town councils, but they're basically joined. We share schools, we share everything, right? Um, so now I'm back in the Harebay area. Um, Earlier, I made a video. I'm not posting it. I tried to land on this bay, and I'm going to try it again. Okay. Um, for some reason, I crashed. I figured the bay would be frozen, and so this is Harebay Island again. But I'm going to try again to land on this bay. My flaps down. Oh, I hit the. Well, everybody, that didn't work out too well. Anyway, that was my video. I wasn't going to fly back to Gander anyway. Not to take all that time to fly back to the airport. I wasn't going to do it. So, to be honest with you, I knew the plane was going to crash because I knew it wasn't going to work. But that was the way I wanted to end the video, with a crash. If you come in with a bang, you go out with a crash. So yeah, I hope you liked my little video, and yeah, that's where I'm from. That's where I live. Peace out from Southside Boy Style.